The engine hummed. 2024 had been a year for the wolves. It had chewed me up and spit me out, leaving me with nothing but ragged edges and a desperate need for escape. So I hit the open road. My beat-up Jeep was my only companion, the open highway my only solace. I wasn't sure where I was going, only that I needed to be away. Away from the stifling city, away from the memories, away from the pain. The radio was broken, spitting static and snippets of forgotten songs. But the silence wasn't empty. Days blurred into each other. Maybe it was fate. The paved road gave way to gravel, the transition abrupt and jarring. The smooth hum of the engine was replaced by a jarring rattle, each stone beneath the tires sending vibrations through the car. The sun, a hazy orb through the thick canopy of trees, cast long shadows on the path. It was already beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. I cursed under my breath, my hand gripping the steering wheel a little tighter, knuckles white with tension. But something about the road ahead, shrouded in shadow and mystery, drew me in, an irresistible pull that I couldn't ignore. The trees pressed closer, their branches intertwining overhead to form a tunnel of green, almost like nature's own cathedral. My headlights, feeble beams in the encroaching darkness, struggled to pierce the gloom. They illuminated a sign half hidden by overgrown vines, its message almost lost to time. The words were barely discernible. Private property. Keep out. A warning that seemed more like a challenge. Logic told me to turn back, to heed the warning and avoid potential trouble. But curiosity, that insidious beast, had me in its grip, urging me to explore further into the unknown. The woods abruptly opened into a clearing, a sudden break in the dense foliage that felt almost unnatural. Bathed in the eerie glow of a full moon, casting long, ghostly shadows that danced with the swaying branches. The moon had risen silently above the tree line, its pale light creating an otherworldly atmosphere. In the center stood a collection of ramshackle buildings, their silhouettes stark against the silver light, as if frozen in time. Smoke curled from a makeshift chimney, and the air hung heavy with the scent of burning wood and something else, something acrid and unfamiliar, like a warning carried on the wind. As I stepped out of the Jeep, the hair on the back of my neck stood on end, a primal response to the unknown. A low, rhythmic chanting emanated from the largest of the buildings, a discordant melody that sent shivers down my spine, each note a harbinger of something sinister. Shadows flickered in the windows, and I thought I saw figures moving within, their forms obscured by dark, hooded robes like specters from a forgotten past. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through the haze of curiosity, a visceral reaction to the palpable sense of dread. This place reeked of danger, of secrets best left buried, hidden away from the prying eyes of the world. I had stumbled into something I didn't understand, something I wasn't meant to see, a mystery that beckoned yet warned me to stay away. The chanting ceased. A sudden, unnerving silence descended upon the clearing, broken only by the sound of my own ragged breathing. The air felt thick, almost suffocating, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. Then, as if sensing my presence, the figures in the window turned. Their movements were slow, deliberate, and filled with an eerie grace that sent chills down my spine. I couldn't make out their faces, hidden as they were by the shadows of their hoods, but I could feel their eyes on me, cold and calculating. It was as if they could see right through me, reading my every thought and fear. Panic flooded my senses. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing in my ears like a drum. I scrambled back into the Jeep, fumbling for the keys with trembling hands. Every second felt like an eternity as I struggled to get the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life, the sound deafening in the stillness of the night. It was a small victory, but I knew I wasn't safe yet. As I sped away, the headlights briefly illuminated the clearing once more. The sight of the empty space where the figures had stood sent a shiver down my spine. The figures were closer now, emerging from the building, their faces still hidden but their intentions clear. They moved with a purpose, and I knew they wouldn't stop until they had what they wanted. I didn't stop driving until the rising sun painted the eastern sky in hues of orange and gold. The warmth of the sun was a stark contrast to the cold fear that had gripped me all night. The open road had promised me escape, but it had also led me to a darkness I never knew existed. As the miles stretched on, I couldn't shake the feeling that this journey was far from over.